Hey guys, and welcome to the next episode of Watch Talk with Anthony. I'm happy that you're here to join me tonight, and I figured we'd shoot the breeze this time in my man cave. And so tonight I wanted to talk about a very interesting topic that might help you as a watch enthusiast and a watch collector, and because I do care about your collecting, and I think that I've learned a lot of things through the years. I mean, I've been collecting since I was about 5, so I'm in my 30s. So I've gained a lot of knowledge on it, and I really love, as you all know, I love the topic of watch enthusiasm. So um, the topic really is the dangers of watch collecting, what not to do. That is the main topic. And first, I'd like to show you my wristwatch check here. And this is my Seiko Flight Master on a paratrooper strap. And I got the strap through an interesting site called cheapestnatos.com. And they have various leather straps, NATOs, paratrooper straps, all types to choose from at a good price. And I mean that's kind of where I got mine, and the Seiko Flightmaster, through Joma Shop. Now, what would be the first? I would say the first and foremost reason or thing to be careful of when watch collecting is never go broke over a watch. I mean, I know a lot of people they they buy a watch irresponsibly, and they just buy it on a whim, and they can't afford it, and their bills are piling up, and they're just which leads to bigger problems just because they bought a watch. I mean, let's say somebody has 10,000 in their bank account and they spend 5,000 on a used Rolex. Doesn't make much sense, and I think that something to be very careful of. That's an example, but um, better to make sure that you have your finances in order before you go out and make a big purchase. I mean, really, because you don't want to regret it. The last thing you want to do is buy something and regret it. Buyer's remorse is just as bad as seller's remorse. And another thing would be buying an expensive watch just to show off power or prestige. And I'll be honest with you, let's be real. How many people really care about what is on your wrist when you're out in the real world, right? When you're out there, you're working, who really cares about what's on your wrist? Whether it's a Rolex or an Invicta or a Michael Kors or a Seiko, nobody really cares. And when they do, it's very interesting when they point it out and they notice what you're wearing. And but the point is that never, or say, excuse me, buying a watch that you're just doing to show off. And I think that that's kind of silly, to be honest with you. I personally never buy watches to show off. All mine are affordable watches that that I buy because I enjoy, not because I'm trying to show off to others. So the main thing is to buy a watch, you know, and even if it's an expensive watch, I mean, at least if you can afford it and you love it, then why not? But not just to show off to somebody thinking it's gonna get you anywhere, because 9 times out of 10 it won't. And when it does, if that Rolex Submariner you can't afford gets you a job promotion, I mean, hey, I mean that would be very cool too. But you know, any other watch could also um, be just as noticeable to an enthusiast out there in the real world, which not very often. Buying a watch just because it's popular right now. Now, there's so many watches that are just little fads. I mean, you had like the fad of the Q Timex reissue as an example, and um, people were selling it like 3, 4 times the price, and then you're ending up buying a watch because it was just popular then, but now it's like you can buy it much more affordably. So it's better to give it a little bit of time before you make that purchase. I mean, really, you know, because you're kind of cool when you buy it on your terms, not because it's cool that year. It's like buying clothes that, you know, you can't, I don't know. It's just something silly to do. And and I think that it's better to wait. I'm sorry. The point is it's better to wait and give it time to for the price to go down. Same thing with those certain Seiko alpinists, like the blue alpinists that rose up in such crazy prices. I mean, it's better to wait and let prices drop. Another reason would be another thing to do is never pay retail for a watch. I mean, always use the retail prices as a guide, but never pay retail. And if you're a smart buyer, you're not going to pay retail. You're going to do your shopping. You're going to do your homework. And look around in various watch websites or watch groups you may be in, or just use Google to your advantage and be a smart buyer. Never pay full retail. Silly. Buying a watch without researching information on the watch itself, such as reviews and things like that. You may buy a watch that on a whim that might be a problem watch, or maybe whether it's used or new, it may be a watch that just doesn't hold up. And so it's better to do review or check reviews on a watch, let's say. And obviously Amazon is a very good you know place to check reviews. Obviously various YouTube channels and things. But buying a watch without fully knowing what you're getting into, I think, is a mistake. And I think it's something to be careful of, because you will regret it when you're stuck with that watch that has, let's just say you get an Anadigi watch, and now the digital display is now broken, and that's actually a ongoing problem with that specific brand, let's say. And now you're stuck with that watch, and now you have to fix that part. You didn't do the reviews. You didn't check the reviews that that specific watch breaks down easier than others, or certain parts that are expensive. Um, Another thing is you may buy a kinetic watch, let's just say, which is another topic in itself. Yet, kinetic watches, to my understanding, they require a lot of attention. And you may buy a kinetic watch just thinking it's cool, and kinetic watches are great. But my point is that when that part goes bad, when the capacitor goes bad because you're not wearing it sufficiently enough, it goes bad, and you got to pay 20, 30, 40 bucks, whatever the hell the price is on the capacitor, and then try to put it in yourself, or pay somebody to do it. uh isn't quite the idea. At least always know what you're getting into, like anything in life, whether it's a job, um a city you're moving to, a watch. Know what you're getting into. Do your reviews, do your research. Don't just buy on a whim, right? This is through personal experience, and I've learned my lessons. Another thing is buying from someone or some site that you haven't gotten information or references for. Let's say you buy, maybe you buy from somebody online, and they have nobody to back them up. Or they may have, uh, in other words, when you're buying stuff online, right? Make sure that it can be backed up by somebody with references. Like somebody I buy from, for example. I already know two or three people that have bought from them, or obviously check the eBay ratings that the person has, things of that nature. And but if it's somebody like personal, like make sure that they have references that can back them up. Maybe somebody that you know and is friends with, and that's usually the theme for me. And when I buy watches, it can be backed up. The source I'm getting it from, and it's never full retail, and it's somebody I trust. So buy from sources you trust, and or whether it's a website or a uh, whatever, eBay, Amazon. Um, it's someone that has good reviews, and they can back their work up, and that's very important. There's a lot of lurkers out there, a lot of people out there. For example, in watch groups, let's say I'm in various watch groups, as you guys know, on Facebook, and there's guys we have to be careful for. Guys that'll sell you Franken watches, fake watches, replicas. Guys that will basically, or even say, you give them the money, they don't even send you the watch. And people that are banned from various groups and they join, and um so that's a bad person to buy from, and make sure like my previous comment, that what you're getting into, and especially from the source you're buying from. Impulse buying, especially when drunk or high or whatever on some substance, right? Impulse buying on a whim, buying. Let's say you've had some drinks. Let's say you were smoking some weed or whatever you like to do, right? No judgment. This is the judgment-free zone. But you are on something and you bought something on an impulse buy, eBay or Amazon, and you're stuck with the watch. You regret it. Um, Impulse buying, and even in general, better to sleep on the idea of a watch. Never buy the same night you hear about it, because it's always gonna more likely than not you're gonna probably want to buy that same night, but you don't want to have buyer's remorse. You don't want to, buy and then the next day you're regretting it, and it's better to just sleep on the idea, maybe even sleep on it for a week. Let's just say if it's a sale that maybe it's not specifically on sale. Now there's some things you want to buy right away, but that's something that was been already calculated in your mind for a while. And let's just say it's now Black Friday, right? And you can save $40 that day. And it's a watch you've been thinking about for so long now, then go ahead and get it. Why not? That's awesome. Jump on it. Buy it right then and there, because that's the day the sale is going to end. But I'm talking about in general, when watches aren't specifically on sale and they just seem good at the time, or like I said, the day you learn of a watch, because I'm learning about watches all the time, various brands, uh, from different people, and it's just like, yeah, I want to buy it. I want to buy it right now. Let's do it. But no, hold back, hold off, chill. Just chill on the idea. Think about it. Let it marinate, right? Let it just kind of sink in and see how you feel the next day. The next day you might be like, what the hell was I thinking? Wait, I had a few too many drinks. You know what I mean? So you just want to be careful, and be a calculated buyer. Be smart when you buy. Know what you're getting into. Check your reviews. Make sure the person you're buying from privately has resources that can back them up, people that can back them up, references, people you maybe even know. I tend to typically buy from people I know, that I'm kind of friends with, through various groups, and people I trust. And I haven't had any regrets, and I haven't been burned yet. And I hopefully never will, because I'm a smart buyer, as you are, and I know you are. Um, so yeah, impulse buying is definitely a danger, and uh, I've had a couple times where I had a few drinks and I bought, let's say, the Q Timex reissue, and I thought about it maybe for a few days, so it was somewhat calculated, but I bought it on a few too many drinks, and I didn't regret it, and I still have it a year later, and that's a whole nother topic, and I might do a video on that one, possibly even a review. Um, Now the other thing to be careful of is buying watches just to mask major problems you're going through and thinking it will solve your problems. I mean, uh, as enthusiasts and collectors, watches make us happy. Of course, they make us very happy, right? At least personally speaking, they make me happy. With you may be going through a divorce, or through you lost your job, or you found out you have a major health condition or whatever, right? You have something going on. That watch might mask the problem for a minute, and it will. It'll make you happy. but it's not going to solve your problems. It's not going to solve your issues. And I think the watch should be enjoyed for the watch itself and not as a crutch to help you or to think you're helping yourself uh, in a major life issue. I think it's just a crutch. I mean, excuse me, it's just a don't use it as a crutch. It's just a watch. It's something that it's a hobby and it's something that like and enjoy for the watch itself. And maybe it's a good distraction, but it's not going to solve your issues, right? So that's one major thing to be careful of. And another thing to look out for is over accumulating too many watches, and that's a whole nother topic. How many is too many watches, right? Watches that sit there and that should be enjoyed, and you have so many of them, so many that it's actually giving you anxiety because you feel like, I feel this way sometimes. I mean, I've got a good number of watches, but I have less than 100, and all affordable watches, of course. Now, um, I sometimes feel bad when I don't, wear some of them, and I've actually been able to sell some of the ones that I don't wear, and that's some of the things I tell you guys is, if you can't see yourself wearing it anymore, sell it. Don't let it sit there. And we as collectors, we keep accumulating watches, and then we have an over accumulation of them to the point where am I going to put this watch in this box? I have no more room. Why do I even have this watch to begin with? It doesn't even fit in my collection. You know what I'm saying? It's just, and it's from maybe an impulse buy or something that you regret. And now you got extra watches that will never be worn. So, as I've said in my previous videos, go through your collection and downsize the ones you won't wear so that it doesn't become a problem. I mean, you know, in my point of everything I'm talking about, and like the main point, like I said in the beginning, was never go broke over a watch. When I was talking about that, um, we as enthusiasts and collectors, as men or women, of course, watching, we want to be responsible human beings. Bills first. Your kids taken care of. Your all your responsibilities are taken care of. And now you have some petty cash, right? Or whatever you want to label it as, to buy watches and enjoy. And that's fine. When you have extra money that, let's just say you have these bonus checks or you have whatever. Money, it's your finances, but my point is that being responsible, you never want to go broke over a watch to show off, to a watch you'll regret, an impulse buy. You want to be a responsible, calculated man or woman, and enjoy the hobby and have no regrets. And I think that's the big thing. So yeah, like for example, when I buy a watch, I know I can afford it. I know it'll fit in my collection. I know it'll make me happy, and I won't regret it. And I've thought about it for quite some time. And so that's just my 2 cents on this topic. And let me know what you think some of the dangers are of watch collecting and being a watch enthusiast and things to look out for. What are some things that um, people should be aware of and be cautious of as a collector? And please share it in the comments and like this video as always. Subscribe, and I look forward to hanging out with you in another video soon. And thank you so much for being part of my new channel. Take care, guys. See ya.